Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shrivatsangam Mahoraskam, Vanamala Virajidam, Shankachakradharam Devam, Krishnam Vande Jagadguru.
Okay, now.
Om Shri Krishna Paramatmane Namaha. Om Shri Partha Sarade Namaha. I bow to Lord Krishna, the preceptor of the universe. I bow to the charioteer of Arjuna. My obeisance to all you noble souls who are assembled here this morning. May you all be blessed. Hari Om. That's it. So today we are you've already started chapter 18, the final chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, as you know. And again, strangely enough, it begins again with the same question by Arjuna. In fact, you will find that the whole of the Gita, this question is reiterated again and again and again. That is, what is the difference between Tyaga, who is the Tyagi, who is the sannyasi? Now, the history of Hinduism in India, as well as history of all religions all over, has proved that this is a very pertinent question, because all of us are wont to think. We think that sannyasa is superior to the grihasthaśrami life. That is, there are 4 ashramas in Hinduism. That is brahmacharya, grihasthaśrama, and Vanaprastha and sannyasa. The last is sannyasa, which means a renunciation of the world, renunciation of your those who are most beloved to you, renunciation of action also. So this is something which is impossible for human beings to do. That's why in the very first one of these first chapters he says, Tyagi nahi deha vridam shakyam tyaktum karmanya sheshadaha yasu karma bhala tyagi satyagi ityadvidiyade. So he says very, very strongly now as well as before, he has reiterated that for the embodied human being, it's impossible to give up all action. Because we have to act in some way or other, some action is required of us, even for the maintenance of our own bodily system. That means, he says, that is, we have for the Jiva Yatra itself, he has for the Yatra of the human being, from birth to death, we need to do some action. So complete giving up of all action is impossible for human beings. That's just the chapter the verse we are starting with. Now, you will notice that actually in the 5th chapter, he has taken karma sannyasa. 4th chapter he took karma yoga, and 5th chapter he says karma sannyasa. So is it impossible? What is sannyasa? Total renunciation of all action, totally renouncing, abandoning our family, our friends and everything, our home, our hearth, everything. Now, in karma sannyasa in the 5th chapter, there's one exception, he said. Who is the karma sannyasi? Who is it who can afford to give up everything and take to a life of total anonymity, going somewhere in the Himalayas or whatever? Who is the karma sannyasi? He says the only person who has no dependence at all on society can afford to be a sannyasi. He has no dependence on society. Is that possible for any human being? It is possible for some, but all of us are totally dependent on the society. We are totally dependent. Everything we do, everything we eat, everything, the houses we live in, the cars we think, even a cup of tea. How much of dependency there is. Think of the number of people who have contributed to give you this cup of tea. Just think back to the tea estates of Darjeeling or wherever they're coming from, and you will find that so many hundreds and thousands of people have come until at last this tea comes up on your table as a cup of tea which you like. So, then who is it who can give up? Only the person who has absolutely no dependence on society. Such a person, these people are very rare indeed. That's why only they can be called actually sannyasis. They are people who do not depend on anything or anyone except God. They have given up everything. They do not have any demand on society. They do not beg, they do not ask for anything, they do not need anything. They go away into the high Himalayas. Many are there still. Actually, the very presence is what makes all of us, at least toe the line as far as spirituality is concerned. That's what we say. Such people are very, very rare. They don't need anything from anything. They don't ask, they don't beg, not the usual sannyasis you see hanging around in cities and so on. They are totally independent, not independent on themselves, but they are dependent only on God. Such a person is very rare. Only such a person can really be called a sannyasi. How many of us can do that? So, the greatness of the Gita Acharya lies in this, that he takes out sannyas from the forests and the caves and the mountains of Himalayas and other places and brings it into the offices, the hearth and home and playgrounds and schools and of ordinary life. He has brought sannyas within the grasp of our life. How does he do that? Because his insistence is that sannyas as well as tyaga is not total renunciation of action, which in any case, as he says here, nahi dehabridam shakyam taktam karmanya sheshla. Nobody embodied people cannot give up action totally. So it is impossible for them. Therefore, how is he making us into sannyasis? So therefore he says, he who has given up all demands for the results of that action. He who has given up demands for the results of that action, he is the one who can be called a sannyasi. And what about tyaga? Tyaga is very similar to that. Tyaga means abandonment of something. What do we abandon? He says now that is a very, very important aspect of what he is saying. You should listen to it very, very carefully because this is the very crux of the Gita Upadesh. He says, he who has given up all initiation or instigation of an action. Such a person, what does he say? Sarva arambha parityagi. Who is a tyagi? Sarva arambha. What does arambha mean? Beginning of any action. Sarva arambha parityagi. He is a tyagi who has given up all initiation, all instigation towards any action. Think of this carefully. How can we do that? Is it possible to do any action without any initiative? Now that is one thing he said. Then next thing, who is a sannyasi? Sannyasi is the one who has no expectation or anticipation of the results of the action. What does he say? Sarva sankalpa sannyasi. Who is a sannyasi? Sarva sankalpa. He has given up. He has given up not hearth and home and karma, but he has given up all expectation or anticipation of the fruit of the action. Sarva sankalpa sannyasi. What is sankalpa? You all know when you go to temple, the pujari will come and bring that thing for you and say, make a sankalpa. What does it mean? I make some sort of a resolve, I make some sort of a vow. If I do this puja, I must get such and such a thing out of this puja. So you are expecting something from that puja. You understand? That is a sankalpa. So same thing applies to all action. When we do any action, we expect some result or something for whom? For ourselves. We don't expect that. We expect something from that action to come back to us, the fruit of that action. The sannyasi is one who has no sankalpa. Sarva sankalpa sannyasi. Why? Because he has given up all again and again we have said, what is karma yoga? Karma yoga is the karma sannyasi. Karma yoga is the one, yogi is the one who has given up all expectation for the fruit. Nishkama karma he does. Nishkama karma, that means he does karma for the sake of loga sangrahamevabi, for the sake of the world. And afterwards he says, as an offering to me also. So such is the sannyasi. So that is more possible for us. It's not possible for the actual sannyas as is meant that someone who has no expectation from the society, who can cut himself totally from the society. That is the actual meaning of the original meaning of sannyas. But what Lord Krishna has said, he has brought that out to the very reach of us, each one of us. We can hope to be a sannyasi like that. We can hope to be a tyagi like that. Because what does he say? A tyagi is one who does not initiate or instigate an action. He waits. How can you do that without? It's a very difficult, and this is, I'm telling you, this is the crux of the whole Gita message of the Gita. This is the whole crux of this. No initiation, no instigation of the action, no anticipation, no expectation from the results of the action, but total enthusiastic participation in every action. This is the crux of the Gita Upadesh. This should be rammed into you at every class, I would say. And this is a very difficult thing, but not if you have faith in that divine which is ever. Now he will, next few verses, he will tell you how this is possible. Because we are all totally confused about who the actor is. We think we are the sole agents of our action. We do everything. Everything under my control. Oh yes, under my control. How much under control it is. We can do many things, but most of the time it appears as if we are getting the things we are expecting from that action. Therefore, we are deluded into thinking that we are the sole agents of this action. But you will realize, he is going to tell you that exactly how this is, that the agent is really not you. The agent is something quite different. See, he says, okay. Anishtamishtamishram cha trivada karmana phalam bhavatya tyaginam pretya nadu sannyasinam kajit. So, usually for any action, anishtamishtamishram cha, then the results will be either favorable to you, unfavorable to you, or a mixture of both. This is all action, whatever action you can have, it is the results are like that. Either something you like, something you dislike, and something which is a kind of mixture, neither that nor that. So, but he says, bhavatya tyaginam pretya nadu sannyasinam kajit. So, but he says that the one who has given up all desire for the result of that action, for such a person, this does not apply. This is a law which applies only for ordinary human beings who are consciously agitated, unconsciously worried. What do I do? What will I get out of this? What will I get out of this? This is a constant worry of everybody. With the result that you are bound by time. You are constantly bound by time. What is time? Time is death. Time is that which is slowly taking you more further and further towards death. Kala Saruba. Kala Swarupa. Kala means both time as well as the Yama. It stands for Yama also. See how beautifully religion brings out everything in beautiful forms also. So, when you are constantly worried about that future, you are making in a way that time go faster towards you. And constantly thinking of that which has passed, what happens? You have no time for the only thing which is real for you. What is real for you now? This present moment. And this present moment has also become the past. What a very little time is left for you which is so-called under your control. This minute, this second, and that's also past. But by constantly worrying about that which is coming and that which is gone, we don't even enjoy the present. We don't even enjoy the present. Even thinking of anything. You say you eat something or something, you're eating. This is something which we look forward to so much, and we've taken a very great, beautiful restaurant and this and that. And even that 5 seconds in your mouth, these things are. You will not even enjoy that because you're busy talking to the other person. Oh, did you like that? Oh, did you see that? Oh, did you see her sari? What she was wearing? This is what is happening. Even that to which you are looking forward so much is a lovely restaurant, beautiful view. That 5 seconds, remember, only in your mouth. Even that you forget to enjoy because of your involvement in the future. That is it. So the whole technique of action Bhagavan has given so beautifully, because he already said Nahi deha pradam shakyam kartum asheshata. No one who is embodied can ever be without action altogether. Therefore, if we have to act, the best advice that anyone could ever give us is the technique of action. What is the technique? There must be a technique in action by which we will free ourselves from this samsara, even though we are acting. We have to act anyway. We have to act. So the only advice that anyone can give us is the technique of action. Because if we don't know that technique, people say, oh, better give up all karma altogether, because karma is the thing which is binding us. How can you? You cannot give up karma. So that is why he insists. Even the sannyasi has to act. I'm not talking about the karma sannyasi, that we leave them aside. That is beyond our knowledge or beyond our pale. But I'm talking, as I said, Bhagavan has brought sannyas into the very heart and home of every human being. That is the beauty of the Gita. We don't have to leave everything and go to the Himalayas or something to become a sannyasi. Every grihasthashrami can be a sannyasi if he follows this advice which Bhagavan has given. That is the greatest of the Gita's thing. And this is the very crux of the Gita essence of his advice. That is he has no initiation, no instigation of the action. He is a sarva arambha parityagi. Who is a tyagi? Sarva arambha parityagi. He does not instigate, he does not initiate any action. And who is the sannyasi? Sarva sankalpa sannyasi. Sarva sankalpa sannyasi. Who is the listening? He who has no expectation and no anticipation of the fruit of the action. Again, think of these. You must write these down and look at it every day. It's very, very important. No expectation, no anticipation of the fruit of the action. But remember, karma you have to do. So how should it be done? With total enthusiasm. Put yourself heart and soul into whatever you're doing. It doesn't matter if you're cooking something for your children, or wiping the floor, or cleaning the bathroom. It doesn't matter what you're doing. It doesn't have to be something great. It doesn't have to be only puja and mantra, japa or something like that. Every single action you're doing, if you can do it without, just do it. I'm here now, right now. My whole attention should be on this action and not on something I'm going to get out of it in the future, or something, expectation how that you have been put into the action. You have been put. Who has propelled you into this action? Your whole life has been propelling to action after action after action. What is it that is propelling you? That is, we think it's our own cleverness. I'm here because I've done everything. Oh, I'm so clever. Everything under my control. Now, the next thing he will say this, you see. So, anishtamishtamishtam cha trividam karma bhalam. That this is a threefold. Something you like, result be something you like, you don't like, or a mixture. But for the sannyasi or the tyagi, these three do not apply at all, because he doesn't care. He doesn't care whether it's good for him or bad for him, or it's a mixture of both. Why doesn't he care? Because he knows that the divine power is the one which is guiding him. And that divine is omniscient. Omniscient, what does that mean? It knows past, present and future. You don't know past, present and future. How much of the future can you know? Even the past you forget. This omniscient power is the one which is guiding you. Therefore, it knows what is best for you. That total faith, that total dedication should be there in which case, only in such a case can you be a sannyasi or a tyagi. So it's a very important aspect. This is the essence of the Gita Charya's talk of the whole Gita. That's why there's been this constant reiteration, who is a tyagi, who is a sannyasi, again and again. Till the 18th chapter this has gone on. Now he will tell you why you have no control. In these next few verses he is going to tell you, why is it you think you are everything under my control? Oh yes, I know everything. I know I've done a lot of research on all these things and I know exactly what I'm going to do. But he is going to tell you how is it that you know nothing, really speaking. So, Panjaidani Mahabaho Karanani Nibodhabe Samke Kridante Proktani Siddhaye Sarva Karmanam. He says, there are the yoga of Sankhya. Sankhya yoga the 6 systems. We have 6 systems of Hindu philosophy. And Sankhya was one of the very important systems, which is followed by all the other systems also. That is Sankhya. So in second chapter is called Sankhya Yoga, because there he says that Sankhya is not the Sankhya of the 6 systems, but that Sankhya he says that's the thing of wisdom, the thing of wisdom, that is of who the essential basis, that is who is the Brahman. That is what was taken in the second chapter. But here he said that original Sankhya Yoga is the thing which gives us Panchaidani Mahabhava Karanani. There are 5 sides to any action that you can do. There are 5 agents or 5 things that impel or propel any action. Panchaidani Mahabhaho, he says. Again, you will find Krishna has a lot of great sense of humor. At the moment, Arjuna has no sense of humor, but Bhagavan never loses his humor. Whatever situation he is in, he is always in a very, very humorous fashion. So he says, there are, Mahabhaho. What Mahabhaho means? Oh, mighty armed one, mighty armed one. Arjuna had a huge ego till that time, till that moment of that, when they came in front of the thing, he had a huge ego. He thought he was the greatest archer in the Bharat. He was also. He was well acclaimed, and he knew it. It's okay being great, but when you know it also, that way spoils the whole thing. So somebody may be a very beautiful woman, but if she knows it and she preens herself, oh, I'm so beautiful, half her beauty is gone. So this is Arjuna thought he was the greatest archer. There was no enemy he could not polish off at one time. There was nothing. But at that moment in the Gita, he was down to the depths, as you know. We don't have to go into that. So again, Bhagavan teases him and says, they have great friends, they're just not Shishya and disciple and Guru, they were great friends. So he said, Mahabhaho, mighty armed one. There are actually 5 reasons, 5 things which make up any action. And he will find that none of the 5 involves that agent whom he thinks we. Siddhaye sarvakarmana. Adhishtanam tada karta karanam cha pradigvidam. Vividasya pradak cheshta daivam jaivatra panjamam. Adhishtanam. First of all, before an action is to see, there has to be a body, The action is committed by the body, mind and intellectual system. So that body has to be there. Adhishtanam tada karta. Karta is the agent. The agent or the ego. The ego which thinks I am doing the action. Where is that agent residing in that body, mind, personality? Adhishtanam tada karta. Karanam cha pradagvidam. Karanam means the different type of 5 sensory organs. The 5 sensory organs have to be there. Every action will be bad or good if your sensory organs are in any way impaired. Say you can't see too well. And say looking at something, my God, is that when you think you do totally something totally different? So every one of your organs, if they are in a very good state, that will also promote the quality of the act, isn't it? So, adhishtanam tada karta. Karta, the agent or the ego who thinks he is the doer. Karanam, the sensory organs. Cha pradagvida, the different types of this thing. Vividhansya pradak cheshta daivam chaivata. Then what about cheshta? The 5 organs of action also have to be there. Not only 5 sensory organs, but prividansya pradak cheshta. Because actually the sensory organs will only tell you that this is that and this is that. Who is it that does the action? The different 5 organs of organs of action, as hand and legs and teeth and so on. These are the things which actually do the action itself. So 5 different types of organs of action also there. So they also have to be good. If my hand is paining me very much and I have to do some carpentry, obviously the result of that action will be pretty poor, isn't it? So if action depends on number 1, that is adhishtanam, the body must be in good shape, adhishtanam, tadakarta, the agent, ego who thinks I am doing the good thing, karanam cha pradagvidam, that is his different sensory organs, and vividasya pradak cheshta, the different types of organs of action, the 5 different types of organs of action, cheshta. Daivam chaivatra panjamam. there is one more thing in the whole thing of making an action perfect. Daivam. Daivam is the divine aspect in that action which we don't see. It is unknown to us. There is always an unknown factor which brings out the result of any action. Now you may not think this is true because most of the time what we expect we sort of get half, almost. Either four, but we don't realize that actually there is that one aspect, unknown aspect, Daivam Chavantam. What is that? I'll give you an example. Supposing a farmer, he has very good land, he's got the best type of seeds, he has sown it in a very with manure and everything, and now the wheat is there ready and ripe for harvesting, and he has, next day they're going to harvest, and they have ordered the tractors to come, and the people are all ready, and it's beautiful. The whole thing is so beautifully and well done, as much as he could, and all under his control. All under his control. That evening, a huge storm, hurricane, and all the beautiful stalks of wheat are down in the water. Who is to blame? That man has done his best, all thing is there. But Daivam Chaivatma Panjamam, there is one unknown factor in every single action we do, which we do not understand or realize, or we do not accept it even. Let alone the farmer. What about I say, let me go back to that cup of tea. I'm always fond of that cup of tea. So let's say, we take up this cup of tea. We have made it the best way, we have done it the best possible way, and we are sitting down on the chair, all ready to have it. Now at last, I can enjoy my cup of tea, and you take it up, put it on your mouth, immediately bell rings under this, you put it up. Or somebody telephones and you have to put it in. Or the cat comes and jumps on you and the whole thing is spilled all over you. Daivam Chaivata Panjamam. There is one unknown factor in every single action which we do not realize or understand. Because most of the time it is favorable to us. Favorable means we think it's favorable only to us because I'm so great. But it's not so. It is there. And how does it judge? According to your karmas of your past. That Daivam is always related to the karmas or attitude or the things which you have, I told you, obligation, attitude, you must have heard this, that what makes a karma good or bad is not the action itself is innocent. It is only the attitude which makes a difference in the bondage, whether you're bound or not. I think I've told you this example before. The karma, any karma, it can be good or bad. But how does it become good or bad? Because of your attitude or the motivation. Now supposing your young bride goes out, wearing golden bangles right up here, and the thief comes forward and said, hand over, and she refuses, and he can cut off her hand even. And he takes a stick. Another man, his arm goes into that, here you don't have. We have ganna juice walas in India who put their ganna, the sugar cane into this thing. One day he feeds his own hand, and that is a bad state. And he doesn't bother about it until it becomes gangrenous. He's taken to the hospital, and what does the surgeon do? Eventually his surgeon says, sorry, unless I amputate the arm, the whole person will die. So what to do? Should he not amputate? So he has to amputate. Same action, but think of what the difference in the result will be. What his karmic results will be. What are the karmic results for the robber, and what is the karmic result for the surgeon? So same action. Action itself is always innocent. Action is action. We have to act. That's the whole point. We have to act. Whatever it is, what comes before us, we have to do it. How to do it is the question. And totally, beautifully, from the beginning, that's the whole thing, this thing is leading up to this. That is the way that how we should act. So, that Daivam Chaivatra Panjamam, there is an unseen factor in every action which we are not aware of, and which actually decides the outcome of the action. So, these are the 5 factors. Now, out of that, what can we claim as ourselves? Adhishtanam Sadakarta Karanam Chavidva Vividasha Pradakshesha Daivam. Sharira Vakmano Bhiryat Karma Prarabdhe Naraha Nayam Va Vivaridam Va Panjayde Tasev. Whether it's a good, just what I said, whether it's a good action or bad action or whatever action it is, these 5 are the causes for all actions. They all have to be there in order to cause any action, whether it's a good action or a bad action. Tatraivam sadikartaram atmanam kevalam tu yaha pashyat agrida buddhitva na samashya durmadi. Durmadi, the stupid man, he thinks that I am the doer, I am the one who has done all these actions. I am to be congratulated. Oh, everyone, if it's a good action and you get a good result, say, yes, I only said all that. If it was a bad action, no, he told me to do this, that's why I did that. So you never, somehow the fact is that we think that he gives a very this thing. Tatrayam sadi artaram atmanam kevalam, if he thinks that he, the ego he meaning not the divine self, but that outer self is such a person who thinks, like us, all of us think, I am the doer, I have done this, I have done that. This I, if he thinks that, Pashit Durmadi, he's a stupid, Durmadi, his intellect is perverted, he doesn't know. Agrida Buddhitva, Agrida Buddhi, that means his intellect is totally perverted. Such a man, he's very sad. That includes all of us. I would say 100, almost 99.99% of all of us. We think that. We are the doer. So this is a great teaching of the Gita that, as I said, the idea that we alone are the doer. But what is this doer? The doer, as he said, all these factors have to come into it. All these factors have to come before any doer does the action. And yet to think that I am, actually who is the actual doer of the action is Bhagavan's Prakriti. Nature will force you to act. Nature will keep on making you act. Whether you want to know, that nature will give. That is his Prakriti. What is instigating to you? That divinity in work, which will relegate your results of your action according to the karmas that you have done before. So altogether, you are only what does he want you to do? The answer is given again and again. Be thou an instrument alone. Nimitta matram bhava sabhyasajan. Be thou an instrument alone. So he says, be only an instrument. Be an instrument in my hand. Like the Gandivam, the bow, in the hands of Arjuna. And Arjuna in the hands of Krishna. So also that, therefore, the instrument will never get any blame for anything you do. The one who, the actor, this thing is that, and here he will give you the next thing with that. Avibhaktam yakteshu karanam karma hatvabi. So yasya naham krito bhavo buddhirasya nipatyade hatvabi sa imam loga nahanti nahanyade. This sounds a very strange thing. He said such a person, even though hatvabi imam loga nahanti, even you are killing all these people, you are neither a killer nor a killed. See, this is a very difficult proposition, you might say, but it can never be applied to the murderer or the suicide bomber. Do you understand? Because he does it for his own personal benefit, or for the sake of some God who is totally misrepresentation of what the divinity should be. A God who is so bloodthirsty that he demands that the infidel should be killed. And he's doing it for some personal gratification, totally under. So whereas an army person, a person in the military who does it at the cost of his own, he's willing to give up his own life for the sake of his country, who does his best, who does his duty because he's a Kshatriya. Look at the difference between the two. So this cannot be applied to these bloodthirsty, the suicide bombers and the people like that. You must understand the difference with them. Only such a being, hatvabi na imam loga nahanti, only he who thinks of himself totally as an instrument, nimitta matram, only as an instrument, a divine agent alone, such a person will not incur sin even if he kills, or if he is killed, because neither way matters to him. He is only doing his duty. He is only an instrument. Nimitta matram bhavasavyasajan. You only be an instrument as I said, as the Gandiva in the hand of Arjuna, as Arjuna himself in the hands of Krishna. He was the one who was charioting. In fact, at the end of the war, when the war was won and finished. Pandavas went to Hastinapura and they had killed all the Kauravas, you see. So, and when they went and prostrated before Gandhari, the mother of the Kauravas, she did not curse Yudhishthira, Arjuna, or Bhima, who had killed all her sons. She cursed Krishna, because he said, you are the one who has been doing that. You are the one behind the whole thing. If you had wished, you could have put a stop to this. Not realizing that she herself had brought up her sons like this, and her husband could have stopped it at any time. Again and again he was asked, you will stop it now. Again and again Vidura went and told Dhritarashtra, you can stop the war. Even now he did not. She forgot all that. But you see that divine will always support that those who are doing have given up the entire this thing to the responsibility of that divine. Krishna himself was willing to take on any bad name. In fact, he did. Any bad name for the sake of his devotee who had surrendered their all to him. The Pandavas had totally surrendered. Therefore, it was his duty to them. Whereas the other always thought, we are the in control. We have so many Akshavanis. We will win the war. This, that, all that. Here they said, when Arjuna and Duryodhana went to the beginning of the war, Arjuna and Duryodhana went to the Dwaraka to ask for Krishna's help. And Krishna was supposed to be sleeping. Whether he was pretending or not, we don't know. Anyway, he was sleeping. So then Duryodhana being there was a chair kept at the foot of his crib. But Duryodhana said, how can I sit in front of the feet of this cowherd? He took the chair and put it on the head, and he sat at the head. Then soon after, Arjuna came. Arjuna came and he just stood at his thing like that. So when Krishna opened his eyes, who will you think he'll see? Well, he'll see the child in front of him, not the one behind him. So Krishna said, Arjuna, what do you come for? And so Duryodhana said, I'm also here. so he said, okay, then what do you want? Very good, I'm so happy to see both. What do you want, he said. So then he said, we have all come to ask your help for the war. So Krishna said, okay, but one thing, I since you're both related to me, and I can't give everything to either of you, I can divide myself. I will go alone. I will help myself alone to one side, and I will give the Narayana Sena, which is called the crack regiment of the Yadava army, in which many of Krishna's own sons were there. The Yadava Narayana Sena it's called. The crack regiment it was. Very good regiment. So he said, one side I will give the brigade, Narayana Sena, other I will go myself. So, but he said, but the choice will be Arjuna's first, because I saw him first. So then Duryodhana said, that's not fair. So he said, why? Because he said, if you go whatever side you are helping, will win definitely. So one thing you have to do, you can go to one side, but you must promise not to fight. So Krishna said, he said, you think that is fair? Duryodhana said, of course it's fair. So he said, okay then, I won't fight. Okay then, I won't fight. But still, the first choice is to Arjuna. So he said, ask Arjuna, choose. Do you want that crack regiment of mine, Narayana Sena? Or do you want me unarmed, unresisting? Which you choose? Arjuna said, my Lord, I want only you. Total surrender. Sharanagati, totally. Such people were the Pandavas. How will he not help them? When the devotee has totally surrendered, has no choice, no desire or choice of their own, how will he not help? That is what people always ask me, what is surrender? How to surrender? What to surrender? How can we? That Pandava shows how they naturally help them. Naturally. And he didn't mind even getting the bad name for himself because of that. And Duryodhana was very happy. He said, these Pandavas, stupid people, he's gone and asked for this thing. We will get the nice Sena for ourselves. So that is how it is. That is why the Gandhari at the end, she curses Krishna and not Arjuna or Bhima for killing her sons, So that's why I'm saying that the idea, that's such this idea that when the person understands that everything is actually done by Prakriti, I am not an actor, such a person, how can I say, I am the actor, I have done this, I am so great. Only when you understand the mechanics of every action, these are the 5 different things which instigate any action. If you understand that, such a person can never claim that I am the great actor, I am the one who has done this and I have done that. So this is the reason that he has dissected what is the psychology of every action in this. This is one of the very good chapters in that way. He has told you how exactly we should have. Karanam, Jnanam, Hatvabi. So only such a person, Hatvabi Samayam Logan, Hantira Nibadyade. Such a person, even if he kills all these people, he is neither a killer nor the killed. Only remember that. Not the murderer, not the suicide bomber, not these people who are killing for the sake of their own, for some god which is a bloodthirsty god which they think it is all a perversion of thinking. It is not a correct thought at all. Such people cannot go by this. They don't commit any sin. Of course they commit sin. And the law of karma will automatically take care of such people. So, Karanam Karmate is then he said, this is Jnanam, Neyam, Pavritnyada, Trivida, Karma Chodana. Karanam, Karma Kartedi, Trivida, Karma Sangraha. So, the motivation for action. Now, why should we suddenly think of acting, doing something or other? Jnanam, Neyam, Paritnyada, Jnanam. We must have knowledge of something. We know that something is there somewhere else, I want to go and get that. So, some knowledge has to be there. Neyam, and what is the object? He must know that such and such an object is, you get the best ice cream in such and such a mall somewhere or whatever it is. So you have the knowledge is there and the object of knowledge is also understood by you. Jnanam, Neyam, Paritnyada. And the understanding person, the agent or karta, Paritnyada, he who knows this. These 3 have to be there for any action. Jnanam, Neyam, Paritnyada. Trivida, Karma, Chodana. Motivation for any action are these 3. You have some knowledge, you know where that thing is to be got, and you yourself are there. So these 3 are the 3 things for any motivation for any karma chodana. Karanam karma kartedi, trivida karma sangraha. What about what about the action itself? Karanam karma kartedi, trivida. Karanam, that is the things, the instruments of things which you have to do. As I told you, the 5 sense organs, the 5 physical organs, organs of action, and the karta. The karta is the agent, the same thing. Karta is the agent who is going to do the thing. Triveda karma sangra. These 3 have to be there before any karma has to be performed. So that's the constitution of the action and the reason for the action. Prochade guna samkhade yada vachunat achami. So he says, Jnanam, Neyam, sorry, have I come to the end of is that all I'm supposed to? Oh, sorry. Okay. So he has totally dissected, as I said, the psychology of each and every action. This is a very important thing because very important to know this. Once we realize that all action is actually done by the Lord's Prakriti, instigated by that force in that which is a divine force, we will never take on the feeling that I am the actor. Because the moment you take on the feeling that I am the actor, you come under the sway of karma, law of karma. If I say I have done this, you have to get the effect of your action. It is a bond. It's a cycle. If I say I have done it, naturally, because I told you, what is the law of karma? Law of karma is only the 3rd law of motion in physics. Every action has to have its equal and opposite reaction. Every action that you do has to, it's a law, it's a natural law, has to have an equal and opposite reaction. So therefore you cannot escape that. But he who has understood that he is not the karta, he is not this thing, the prakriti of the Lord is doing everything, and he himself is being instigated in that, and he has surrendered all his thing to that Lord, then he is no longer, does not come under the law of karma. He escapes. That's why this thing itself he has said, such a person does not come under the 3 Yeah, Anishtam, Ishtam, Ishram, Cha, these three, something which we like, something we don't like, that's a mixture. He does not come under that because he has surrendered, because he has understood that he is not there. This is a very easy thing to understand. Remember, supposing now the person is dead. A person is dead, but his eyes, his thing, all still there. They can be taken out and given to some other person. But when that prana, when that divine spark has gone, none of this is of any use to anyone, to that person. So who is the instigator in that? That divine prana, that divinity is the one who is the instigator. The moment that leaves, nobody can stick the thing. We don't want even the dearest of the dear will say, as soon as possible, take it away to the cremation ground or burn it or bury it or whatever you want. Because that's gone. So what is it that is instigating? That once we understand that thoroughly, that we are only like these puppets, 5-finger puppets and all that. The hand is what is this thing and the hand thinks, oh, I'm so strong, I'm very good, I can do this, I can do that. That's how the rest was. So this is very important to know, one of the very important parts of this thing, to know that I am not the doer. I am either. But understand is a very tricky thing to do. As I said, a suicide bomber, a killer can say, I am not the doer, I'm killing this thing, and he can kill. But law of karma will take care of him. Because why? He does it with full self-interest, full jealousy, or with desire to hurt the other person, to impose his own this thing on the other person. So naturally that this law will not apply in that case. It's only in the case of this person, a tyagi or a sannyasi, again go back. That's why this reiteration of who is the tyagi, who is the sannyasi, again and again and again. Who is the tyagi? As I said, the tyagi is sarva arambha parityagi. Let me say this again, because very important part of the teaching of the Gita. I don't think it has been, many people don't reiterate this. He mentions this number of times. Sarva arambha parityagi, who has given up all initiation, all instigation to any action. He keeps quiet, waiting for the Lord to instigate. And he will instigate. It is true. It is the truth. If we have patience, as Sai Baba always says, saburi, Shraddha and saburi. That saburi most of us don't have. We must put on our tiny little intellects to the thing. You must have the understanding and the belief that it's an omniscient power which is guiding us. He knows best, what is good for you. We can never know that. When you surrender to that power, automatically that will take over. So, that is the tyagi. He has abandoned what? All initiation action. That's the tyagi. And who's sannyasi? Sarva sankalpa sannyasi, who has given up all anticipation, expectation of the fruit of action. He has given it up. Why? He knows that these 5 things are what is controlling my action. So that such a person is a sannyasi but that doesn't mean that I can keep quiet, I will not do karma. Oh no, because after all I'm going to get entangled in this. No, he said, full enthusiastic participation in the game of life, because life is a game which has to be played. It is actually, even in the midst of all sorrow, you will find there's a drop of honey. We are always, the man who is falling, we are human beings. It's there in the Puranas. We say a man has fallen off it's a kind of a well, and he has hold on to a tree. They're hanging on to the tree, and he looks below, and right down below there is a crocodile or something at the end of the thing, and way down is the water, and then he looks up and there is a rat is gnawing at the branch, and so I don't know when it might break, is only this thing. Then he sees there's a number of bees hanging around there. There's a bees there, there's a honeycomb over there. And one drop of honey is burning, and he's busy putting out his tongue to get that drop of honey. That's our case. And days and nights are gnawing away at our life. So there's the serpent, and I forgot, there is a serpent also coming along that tree. So everything, we don't know what will be the last thing that we can step out into the drive and then some car might knock it. We don't know anything about life. Really speak, we don't even know what next moment. Yet we are all after that little drop of honey wherever we can. We never think of that consequences. We never think of who's acting or what is the game or role of life. So this is a very important thing. This thing we should have, with having given up the initiation to action, having given all sankalpa or desire for the anticipation or expectation from the action, but we must enthusiastically throw ourselves life and soul into everything we're doing. Whatever you're doing, if it's washing or cleaning or brushing your teeth or combing, doesn't matter. Nothing is so menial that it is insignificant in the eyes of the Lord. Okay? So everything we do is just to be done with great enthusiasm. And so this is a very important, this is the most important teaching of the Gita. If you can act in this way, if you can live your life in this way, it will be a perfect life. That is a fulfilled life, because you don't really have to do any sadhana even after that. You don't have to go to numerous rituals. You don't have to do this puja and this thing. You don't have to, so many things we go after. Reading of the Hanumancharya, reading of the Lalita Sahasranama, so many things we do. I'm not saying don't do that. By all means do that. Because all these things only help to modify our mind, make it more and more tender and softer in order to receive this. More receptive it is by all these things. That doesn't matter. But I'm saying, if a person will actually live their life like this, with no anticipation and no initiation, such a person and yet full participation, that person doesn't have to do anything, because automatically he is in the stream of, he reached the highest stage of liberation. That is the whole, this thing of the Gita is combined in these few words. So, sarvabhudeshu yana jnanam karma sadhaiva gunabheda pochide gunasamkhyaade yadavachunu tanvi sarvabhudeshu yanaikam. Oh, I don't think I have this. Do you have that? Where do I stop? 18. Huh? So I finished 18, is it? Oh, okay. Jnanam karma cha karta cha sadhaiva gunabheda pochide gunasamkhyaade yadavachunu tanvi. So he says jnanam, karma or karta. These are three, that is the knowledge, jnanam, karma, the actual action, or karta, the actor, agent. Yeah, these three are there for every action. Porchade, guna samkhyade, yadavachunam. After that, he will tell you what is the type of jnana, what is the type of karta, what is the type of knowledge, and they also again come under the gunas. The three gunas are come under the entire. So we have come back. So let us. So we have come to that. We can continue with some questions, I think, because the crux of the matter of these few verses, I have put it into a nutshell, and if you want to ask any questions, you are welcome to ask.
Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Gurudev, dear devotees of the Lord. If you have any questions to answer, to request from Mataji, you are most welcome to ask her.
Yeah?
So, we are very good people.
Yeah?
Ordinary people.
I can't really. Can you give him the loudspeaker?
Can you come in front and raise your question?
So, my question may be a bit unusual, but I think you are well qualified to answer the question. My question is, we are all ordinary, good, free people. Means legally we are not in prison. Now I come, but there are a group of people who are legally put in prison. Right? So what I understand, you taught these people meditation. Prisoners are very dangerous people, very terrible people, very stressed people. So if we may, I don't know, it may be nice to hear your experience in teaching for your lessons for us.
Yeah, actually,
Thank you.
actually speaking, when I first started out as a initiator of the TM movement, and in Kerala, I think I was the first woman ever to go to a prison and teach meditation to the prisoners. How many years ago? This was about, I think, about 40 years ago. I used to go to the Trichur prison. The prison went for habituals and teach the meditation. And in the beginning, they used to keep a police escort for me and so on. But I used to always, I don't want the police hanging around when I'm actually initiating the people inside. So eventually they did not do that. And we rehabilitated them, taught them meditation. And because not only teaching them meditation, but rehabilitation is very important for a prisoner. Because once you are branded as a prisoner, nobody will give you employment. No way you can go back into society. So even we try to give them some rehabilitation, those who came out, and because otherwise these people, they would come out and they would tell me, Amma, this is better for us in prison because we can't get a work here, and all we get, they will commit another crime, so that they will be taken back into prison. Such is the terrible way they have to live. But I think we did make whatever it was, that we certainly made some mark on them, I feel, by teaching them meditation and so on. And that would definitely pave the way for a higher life in another life. What else can we do for them? And as I said, if we can, because society will certainly not accept them once they've been branded as a prisoner or a thief or a murderer or whatever. So, but actually they are all human beings. That's what I found. As I said, I think though now Kiran Bedi is supposed to have gone, first woman to have gone, but I was always thinking, I was the first woman ever to go to a, because this happened 40 years ago, when probably Kiran Bedi was not even born. So, so this is a very interesting thing, and I really think we can do a lot if you by helping them, teaching them some sadhana also, some yoga also. I think there's some kind of a movement by which they even taught yoga and all in India. Some prisons, the prisons, they are being taught yoga also, which will certainly make a difference in their way of life and their thought process of their life, I think. Yeah.
Mataji, one of my students has a question for you.
Yeah, please.
Shall you come on?
Come.
You do it, Ruth.
Come on. I love to get questions from young children. Come
on.
Please stand up and say.
Ruth, come on.
So we've been taught in our class that God comes and helps us in time of need, right? So why hasn't God come to help us when the wars are going on and stuff like that?
Now, how are wars made? How are wars made?
Two countries fight.
How do countries, why do they fight? Wars are the outcome of the negativity in every citizen of each country. They don't suddenly come out of the blue. Now, we have wars in our own homes. You fight against your mother, you shout at her and you say, this is a mini war. Okay? Wars in the houses, wars in the society, wars in the flat or apartment, this thing which you are living in. When these come to a national huge, then it bursts out in huge wars. Why should God help you then? Why? Tell me one reason. When you've gone against all His laws, every law He has ever, there's a cosmic law, there's a cosmic thing which we are supposed to follow. Do we ever follow? The cosmic law says that we should treat everybody alike. If everybody, not everybody means every creature, every animal. Do you ever think of that a chicken has no right of his own? Do you ever think that a lamb has no right of his own? He wants to follow he is given a right to live out his life as he wants, isn't it? So once you start following the cosmic laws, once the whole world starts following, there will be no wars, I assure you. Don't blame God, and God has nothing to do with it. He is only a witness to the poor, terrible things that humanity is doing. Okay? Okay. Very good, and very good question. Yeah. Because you are the makers of the future. You have to start. What about the plastics? We are killing this earth. We are killing the earth, literally. Do you ever look at everything, find out, oh, there's a plastic, let me pick it up. Do you ever look at all these things you're doing? Every one of these will have some effect on the earth which we are having, isn't it? We must fight for this thing because it's not your fault. It is all coming. It's not my fault. Everybody can say that. But you are the ones who have just started movement. No, ban pastures. We won't have it. We will not buy this anymore. If you don't buy this, they have to stop manufacturing it. It's because you buy it that they keep on manufacturing. You understand? So you start a movement for that. How to save the earth, how to save the world, how to save the world also from having wars. It is your duty. Every child owes a duty. The parent owes a duty, but if the parents don't follow it, you have to do it. Okay? Very good question there. Anybody else? Yeah? Yeah, come.
How do you born God?
What, darling?
How do you born God?
How
is God created?
Created. Now how is creation created? Where is creation created? God is uncreated. Now everything, God is never born. That's why He never dies. Anything that is born can die. But God is never born, therefore He can never die. He is eternal and spaceless, timeless, beyond space, beyond time. We are all bound by space and time, isn't it? We are all bound by space and time. God is beyond space, beyond time. He knows everything. That's why He is omniscient, omnipotent and eternal. Eternal, meaning not bound by space and time. Okay? So there's no question of when was He born. Because if He was born, He will die. Everything has to be born, has to die. You understand? Even if it's a pot which comes to existence one day, it has to be fallen and broke another day. Even if a dinosaur, so big, such a big animal, living for thousands of years, even they became extinct. Everything that is born has to have an end. But God is never born, therefore He will never end. Okay? Yeah?
Is it that's why we can't see God?
Exactly, very good. But I'll tell you one way of seeing God. Look at each other, look at His eyes. You see yourself. Because God is everywhere, everywhere. You can't see air, isn't it? You can't see air, isn't it? But you know there is air. Because if there is no air, you will die. You can't breathe, you will die.
You can feel. You can feel.
No, you can't. Therefore, you can't see God. But just like air is there, even if you can't see, so also God exists even if you can't see. He's everywhere, like air. Sarva-vyapi. Sarva-vyapi means going everywhere, everywhere. In you, in Him, in this, in that, everywhere. Sarva-vyapi, okay? But we can't see. We can't see air. But it is there. You know it is there. Okay? Like that. Very good questions. Okay. Very sweet. Yeah? Anyone else? Yeah? Yeah. Up, get up.
So how, like, we talk to God by praying. So, But when we pray, I usually pray, but the God does not come. But so is really God listening to us? Because I don't think God is listening to us. Because every one of the people in India and many more countries which are Hindu. So I think God can only look at one. So how do we talk to God?
Yeah. The thing is, see, I told you God is Sarva-vyapi. He's everywhere. You understand? Now, air, I told you the example of air is very good. Because air is everywhere, not only for Hindus, not only for this class. Every human being everywhere has air. The same air we breathe. Same God also everybody has. Every religion has the same, only one God. Though they call it by many names, actually speaking, it's only one. Only Hinduism realizes that all gods are only one force. One, this thing. It is a cosmic force. It's pure consciousness. So therefore, it is Sarva-vyapi, is everywhere. Therefore, I won't even say it hears everything. Not that He hears actually your prayers, but it knows immediately. He knows. Even if a small leaf falls, immediately it knows. How does it know? How do you know if you have a pain on your toe, big toe, very bad pain? Does anyone have to tell you, look, I think your toe is paining? No. You know, immediately you know. Therefore, God is all encompassing, everything is part of Him. So anything that happens anywhere, immediately He knows. So your prayer, don't think He doesn't hear, He hears. Whether he responds is a different matter. He will respond if it is good for you. He will not respond if it is bad for you. Understand? That is the mechanics of prayer. But He knows, He hears. Understand? Okay.
Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Gurudev. We'll now sing. Mataji will end the question and answer session.
Okay, sorry.
Thank you
They're
so
so
much,
good, the children, they're so
Yes.
sweet and so
A lot of applause to all the children who asked so beautiful questions. Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Gurudev. We'll now sing the last question.